Hey everybody, Luke here, talking with Cody Ready. We're gonna go over my top 8 draft. Cody's actually the one who won this event, so I'm excited to see what kind of things that he comes up with what I picked, what he may have picked differently, or if I was in the right lane or not. Cody?
Yeah, and actually, would you mind giving the context you gave me a little bit before about your seat?
Yeah, so for this seat, the person to my right, who's going to be passing 2 packs to me, had been talking all day about how much they hated Cindra and how Cindra's the worst deck and that Arachne is so much better. And I was like, okay, perfect. I want to draft Cindra because that's what I had been drafting all day. And that's like what I did well with that pre-releases as well. So I was excited to sit next to this person and kind of already have a lane basically. So I went into this draft thinking that I'm going to be in a Syndra seat. Would you like ever like what would you think about that?
No, I think that's a great read, especially at these local events. Knowing what someone is staying away from is a huge edge, right? Because if you know the person to your right is not going to be Syndra, that already narrows down your pick a little bit. Because if you pick assassin or wow, I'm blanking warrior, if you pick Arachne or um, what's the warrior hero again? Fang. There
Fang.
we go. Oh god, it's been too long. Then you could be getting cut right off the bat. And so, yeah, knowing having that information beforehand is a big deal and
Mhm.
would influence me as well to be in a citrus seat.
Yeah. So we'll start going in with that context. We'll go into this draft here and start thinking about exactly what maybe was a good pack one, pick one. Maybe we'll just like go into it, see how the deck gets built, see what a top 8 draft looks like for an RTN, just in case anybody else has got any coming up in the next couple days, or for is Nats? No, Nats is not going to be this format, huh?
Not nationals, but the Pro Tour London will be.
Okay, Pro Tour London will be this. Okay. Yeah, so you can just kind of come in and see what a top 8 draft looks like for a little RT in here. And we'll be on our way. So, kind of cut this down. Uh and hopefully everybody could see very well here, so it gets a little
See
bit better.
here.
Yeah. So we got this first pick.
Okay. So a couple things stick out to me already. We saw red scar tissue. We saw the chest, the assassin warrior chest.
Yeah.
That hunter, also a very good open card. Um, what was near the end again? I missed the last couple cards. Looks like you're pulling some of them. Yellow
Yeah.
Orb Weaver and
Yeah,
the Endear
yellow.
Devotion is interesting too. I would if you wouldn't mind pausing on
Yeah.
here. That's a really interesting pack one. So you have a lot of strong cards, a lot of good first picks there,
Yeah.
right? And remind me, I blanked. What did we pick there?
Hunt a Hunter.
We did pick Hunt the Hunter.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a very strong card. I do like that pick. But it's interesting to go over the other options that we did have. So Red Scar Tissue is a very strong card for
Mhm.
Fang and Arachne.
Yeah.
Uh, and if I was in that seat and I didn't have the information that the person to my right was not going Syndra, that would probably be my pack one pick one.
Mm.
That or the chest piece. I really value armor in this
Yeah.
draft set. I think that it it helps alleviate the difference between going first and second a lot if you
Yeah.
have the right armor. And so armor is a pretty high value pick for me as well. But in the pack one, sometimes armor isn't the best option. And I think
Mhm.
in here, in this pack one, I don't think it's the best option. I think Hunt the Hunter is a very strong card that can stay open, especially for Syndra.
Yeah.
And we also didn't see a lot of good Syndra cards in that pack, right?
Yeah.
So if you are already leaning towards Syndra, I think that is a very good pack one, pick one.
Yeah, so I agree with you on very much valuing armor. Now, you might not think this after seeing this draft, like it kind of doesn't look like I value armor,
Uh
but
oh.
I do I do
Spoilers.
very much, yeah, spoilers for the rest of the draft. And it's actually kind of interesting seeing everything and how it lines up. But I agree with like in this format, I mean, I feel like all Flesh and Blood formats, like I really pick early a lot of the equipment, and I didn't do that as much this time, but we'll see kind of why I'm leaning into that. And I agree also about the scar tissue. Red scar tissue, I think, is a great pick. And then also, what do you think about the generic card that marks and gives your next thing +3?
Oh, public bounty.
Yeah, public bounty, because that was also
Yeah,
the red public bounty is also in this pack, and I was thinking about that one as well. For pack one, pick one.
it is interesting, right? Because it's it is a card that keeps you open in all three heroes. I would
Yeah.
say that Cindra is the least happy with that card.
Yes.
And knowing the context of you wanting to lean a little further into Cindra in this seat, I don't think it's a great pack one pick one. I also think that there's a lot of other better options in this
Yeah.
pack, but it is not a terrible pack one pick one overall.
Yeah.
Um,
Would you pick Yellow Orb Weaver over that?
um, over Red Public Bounty,
Yeah.
that's tough. I think it really depends on the context of the pack. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think if it was Red Orb Weaver, I would easily grab it over Red Public Bounty.
Yeah.
But it really just depends on what I'm passing. That's actually what I want to get to next after that. But Yellow Orb Weaver is definitely a good card. I don't
Mhm.
think it's good enough to be pack one pick one unless you know that you're not passing any other good assassin cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
saw that we are passing. I believe it was like a red Mark the Prey, which is obviously not like any kind of bomb, but it is still a fairly strong assassin stealth card.
Yeah.
And we were passing the chest and the scar tissue.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't pick Orb Weaver Spinneret there. And the other thing I wanted to note is that is it Endear Devotion or Affirm Loyalty that was in this pack? Either the one cost or zero cost.
There was a tag the target, a red tag the target, and there was a red dust runner outlaw.
No. It's the Fang card. It's the one where on the second
Oh,
chain link you make a fealty token.
I'm
I
not
can't
sure.
remember if it was the zero cost one or the one cost one, but we have to keep in mind that we're passing that one right there.
Yeah, that one.
Uh, I think it's Endear Devotion, which is the one cost,
I
I
knew it was
believe.
a blue public bounty. I thought it was a red. But yeah,
But oh, was it blue?
yeah.
Okay.
Then definitely not
But
blue.
yeah, something I did want to note is that we're passing that Endear Devotion, which is a very strong Fang card,
Yeah.
right? Um, and we got to keep that in mind when we make our first pick, that we're passing a card that's likely going to put someone on Fang.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you want to have any kind of spoilers on how the pod turns out, right?
Yeah.
But we do end up we know that the person to our left goes on Fang,
Yes.
and I would bet that it's. I think he said he had a good pack one pick one for Fang as well,
Mm.
but that Endear Devotion pass seals the deal
Yeah.
for right, because
Yeah.
that is a very strong card. If someone's passing that, then you have a pretty good idea that Fang is going to be at least somewhat open if someone was picking a card over that as their pack one pick one.
Hmm.
It's not like a bomb or anything, but it is still a very strong card to be sending.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
this whole draft in general ended up being pretty much what should happen. It was two Arachnes, three Cindra, two Fang. Right?
Three
No,
Fang.
three Fang. Yeah, three Fang, three
Yeah.
Cindra, two Arachne. That was seven. But yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's like kind of how the pod should end up, and I think that everyone like kind of knew what their lane was and fell into where their seat was supposed to be. I did end up sitting in the best Cindra seat, so I did kind of enjoy most of the games on that. And I think that this draft just kind of ended up being like where we should be.
Mm.
So we can.
Yeah, I think it was a great pack one pick one. But I just wanted to make that note of what we're passing and what we're leaving out.
Yeah.
Cool. So we have Hunt the Hunter.
Yeah. Hunt the Hunter for
Very strong
pack
chain
one,
ender
pick one.
for Cindra.
Yep. I agree. So
What we
now
got here?
we're looking at cards that come to the front. Okay. So there's a couple decent Cindra cards,
Mhm.
like those three, and there's that, and the arms. Yep.
This is interesting.
So like
Not a
I
ton
see
of
this and
power.
I'm like, nah, none of them are very powerful, but they're all kind of just good. And I end up going with I really value blue block threes in this format. I just think that all the blue generic block threes are extremely good. Even if you're Syndra and you have two blues in a hand, if they both block for three, like you're sitting in a really good spot there because then you could just like block three and then come back at them with a couple daggers or like a couple more attacks.
Mhm.
I also really kind of like the one cost like attacks. I think that the one cost attacks are very good in Syndra. Um, especially ones that just make a fealty, like that rare one that just if it's the second chain link make a fealty. I feel like that one's really good. Uh, but other than
What
that,
was the one in this pack was marked with magma, which is on hit mark,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, that one's on hit mark.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I was actually I'm a bit surprised you didn't pick that card. But we are staying open, right? The blue
Yeah.
block 3 makes a lot of sense. We're staying open. We're waiting to see some signals before we fully commit to Cindra. So
Yeah.
I do really like that pick.
Yeah, it
Um,
is kind of like waiting a little bit, but I honestly think I
yeah.
could have picked that card here and it would have been better for my deck in general, just because I know that this person is not playing Syndra. I mean, I don't know that, but like I have a pretty good idea
Right.
that that's happening.
You aren't certain yet, so you don't want to fully commit to Cindra yet, and
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I will say the one thing to note about passing mark with magma, I feel like that is one of the stronger Syndra cards
Yeah.
to be running. However, it depends on what kind of archetype you want to be in, right?
Mm.
Because there are two major archetypes for Syndra, right? There's
Mhm.
the zero cost head jab version,
Mhm.
red Syndra, or there's blue Syndra, which runs a lot of the one cost attacks, right?
Yeah.
Um, and Mark of the Magma is definitely really good in the blue Syndra and a little less good in the head jab red Syndra,
Yeah.
right? So it's not a priority pick, but it is important to keep in mind that we're passing that card that's pretty strong and could indicate to someone else that Syndra is open
Yeah.
when she actually is not quite as open as they think.
Yeah, and also doing like passing the two good Fang cards the pack before, I feel like I was putting the person to my left into Fang, and then it
Mm-hmm.
did end up that the person two to my left ended up in Syndra. So I think that that Mark with Magma pick, he probably had picked that one up on the pack. That would be pick 3 for him. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he almost certainly picked that up, and it's not necessarily like a Syndra's wide open signal because it's
no,
not
yeah,
bomb or anything, but it is something to keep in mind what cards you're passing to the people to the left and letting them know what's available. We
yeah,
are also passing a red plunge though, and that's a very strong Arachne card, and
mm,
so we're passing some conflicting stuff. We put our left opponent or left player probably on Fang, and so the person to the left of that could be on Arachne or Syndra with the
yeah,
way that we're passing these picks.
yeah,
So I do still like the blue 3 block pick, but it is something to keep in mind is what I want to. That's something I like to keep in mind all the time is what am I passing? What am I telling the people to the left that what is available and
yeah.
what's open?
Yeah, I did end up with like a couple too many blues in this deck, and I think that maybe had I picked up the pick here, I think was great because it's like just staying open. Oh, and then we see,
Oh,
so I see
yep.
a piece of an item that I really like or equipment that I really like,
Wow,
but
this is a
this
very
Syndra pack
strong
is
Cindra pack.
insane. Yeah.
Wow.
So I see this and I'm like, I am Syndra. Like this is like seeing all this. So I
Yep.
end up going with the chain ender here. I am really thinking about the leapfrog head. I like the leapfrog head a
Mhm.
lot specifically because it doesn't really compete with anything that is that great. Um,
Mhm.
because like the draconic one is like Mark and Arachne, it's okay.
Right.
Um,
It's just a blade break one.
yeah, it's just Blade Break one, and then the other one is like you can de-react to block from Arsenal, and it's like I'm not really trying to block from Arsenal anyway. So like I feel like for the
Mhm.
leapfrog, the head is probably the best, at least in Sidra. So like I'm really trying to figure out if I want to do that or the chain ender, and it's just like that chain ender is too good.
I think that the biggest thing here too is that the two players to your right have just said, "Hey, we're not on Syndra,"
Yes.
right?
Yep.
We passed our Dragon Fire, the strongest Syndra card in the entire set, right? At
Yep.
least in my opinion, it's the strongest card in the entire set for Syndra.
Yep.
Um, and that's just the wide open signal. Hey, Syndra's open, go Syndra, right?
Yeah, not
You're
only
clearly
that, but there's 3 other good Syndra cards in that pack.
yep,
Like, it's not just
exactly,
that one. It's like this pack is kind of nuts for Syndra. So I was like,
yeah,
okay, we're in it.
like
I know Oz is not in it now.
right. And the one worry in the back of my mind is that you picked the rare ninja card, right?
Yeah.
So you are passing now 2 ninja cards to the left
Mm.
that are also fairly good picks, right? Because it was one of the head jabs that marks on hit, I believe, and then the 1 for 4 draconic starter, Cinder Skin Devotion.
Yeah.
Um, so that is something to keep in mind is that we're passing some strong ninja cards still,
Yeah.
and so we probably put our player on the left on Fang, but now we can fairly confidently say the person 2 seats left is
Is going to
going
be
to at least
Syndra.
heavily consider Syndra or going to be Syndra.
Yeah.
Um, it's not something to be concerned about. We obviously are in a Syndra seat, but it's
Yeah.
just something to keep in the back of our mind.
Yep. Definitely. So
But yeah, Yeah, I think it's pretty easy pick here.
Yeah,
Like
good.
I do like the helmet conversation there, but yeah, it's always our Dragonfire.
Yeah, and just taking the rare is just like I feel like it's just the best thing to do. Just like because you might not see it again. So
Mhm. Yeah, and you never know. Sometimes the helmets will just be plentiful in this box. So
sometimes you just I see a million leapfrog equipment and I'm like, oh, I love this. So here we are on pack 4. Um, I see another blue 3 block, and here is where
Mhm.
yeah, here's where I make a decision that I think I could have changed. So I really like the blue 3 blocks, but
Yeah.
that chess piece is just so good. Like I'm not even
Yeah.
considering it at this point, and like I definitely mistakes were made on like how good this chess piece is for me.
Yeah, I would snap off the chess piece here
Yeah,
every time.
yeah.
Are we missing a ninja card in this pack?
Um,
I think we're missing a ninja card in this pack.
that would make sense.
Can we see if we can see the whole pack again?
Yeah.
I feel like we're missing a Cindra card.
Let's
I think the last
see.
one was good. I think we're good here. I think we're good
Yeah.
here. So we have that one
Yeah. So we have
because we're gonna
one
see the
ninja
pack one more
card.
time. I think we only have one ninja card. So that is interesting that we have a ninja card cut from this pack,
Yeah.
and this is pick 4.
Yeah. Which makes
Um,
sense because I know that that person that you can see above my hands right now is on Cindra. But
um,
they started off
so
in Fang.
So that's Tanner,
Yeah,
right?
that's Tanner.
This is not Tanner's first pack. This is my
Oh.
first pack.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Who is and I'm in the very corner seat.
Yeah.
Further, you can now see my arm there.
Yeah.
So it was either me or the two people to your right
Yeah.
that picked the Syndra card, which is
Yeah.
interesting because we know that none of them were on Syndra, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So someone picked a Syndra card to stay open and must have switched at some point.
Yeah, and it must have been a
Which is
good
interesting.
card, which is really interesting because the
And-
Art of the Dragon pass. So they must have picked a good card from Syndra to stay, but they passed up an Art of the Dragon the pack before.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because yeah, I didn't pick a ninja card that pack. I remember my pack one pick one was an assassin card.
Yeah.
And so that's interesting. Someone picked a ninja. Anyway, so I'm going on this too long, but it's interesting to see the ninja card is missing, but the chess piece
The
decided to
chess
snap
piece
off
there
there.
was definitely the pick. It
Mhm.
probably would have won me the game had I picked the chess piece there,
Oh
because
no.
there was one time where I had to block out my whole hand except for one, and it was the Art of the Dragon Fire, and I had a fealty.
Yep.
And if I would have had
Yep.
the chess piece into a fealty into Art of the Dragon Fire, then I would have made him block with 3 cards from hand, and I probably would have won the game from there. But
Yep.
yeah, so that was really sad. Just like looking back on it afterwards and being like, oh my god. And spoiler alert, I pass another chess piece. So
Oh no, you don't say that. Don't say that.
yeah, no, yeah. So we're gonna get into that.
Oh.
We're gonna get into that. But yeah, it was pretty sad seeing that and being. I definitely undervalued how good that chess piece was. And like
Chess piece is
after
really strong.
yeah, after seeing it, I was like, oh, you can only play Draconic cards. It's not that good. And then I was like, oh wait, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You can break it. Yeah, that
Yep.
laughter. Yeah. Oh well. Oh well. But yeah, I think the equipment just in general, I like the equipment, so
Yeah.
I always pick it there. Let's
And
see
here
here.
we see a
Ooh,
head jab. Oh,
Ronin?
and there's the other chess piece. Now, the other one should have definitely been the chess piece. This one is
This one's tough.
yeah, this one's a little bit more tough because I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna do the zero, like the red line Syndra 0, but then
Mhm.
I've already picked 2 blue block 3s. Like I don't think that that's my lane. So I think that
I don't think you can know yet. Yeah, it's nice to have the blue block threes for the one cost Syndra, but they're not. It's not a requirement in head jab red line Syndra to
yeah,
have no blue 3 blocks.
yeah,
I think it's perfectly fine to have those, and sometimes you'll want them anyway
yeah,
because you might have some turns like you might find a Wrath of Retribution later that's pretty good or something, right?
yeah,
Uh, I don't think you're forced into an archetype yet because we
yeah.
have some head jobs, we have a couple blues, we can go either way
Mm-hmm.
at this stage of the game. I do think that this pick is always run and renegade. It's very very strong.
Yeah,
Being able to start without having to pitch for your kunai
yeah,
is massive in
yeah.
Cindra. So I do think I picked that over the chess piece here.
Man, even after passing the first chess piece,
Yeah, I actually, especially after passing the first chess piece,
Okay.
because now we're putting the people to our left on chess pieces. So in pack 2, we might get a chess piece,
Yeah.
right? Because we're now passing 2 of the draconic chess pieces.
Yeah.
It's not, it's still tough, right? But Ronin Renegade is just a little too strong to pass up.
Yeah, I definitely think that first pick should have been the chest, and that would have ended up being much better.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
then we wouldn't even have the dilemma. We just always pick Ronin.
and then we just pick Ronin, and that's like we're chilling.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad
But
that
it
the
is interesting to
Ronin.
see
Yeah,
how many strong Fang cards are getting passed here. Like we see Searing Gaze in this one. We
yes,
saw
Searing Gaze. Yeah,
it's not necessarily that strong of a card, but we saw a pretty good Draconic React Fang card in the last pack get
yeah,
passed. Um, so that is interesting to see that the Fang, a lot of the Fang stuff was open here.
and here we see
Right off the
more
bat.
good Fang cards, more good Cindra cards.
Wow, three
Yeah,
good center cards here, right?
yeah. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, I am chilling. Like I am
Yep.
in the right seat. So
Yep.
here's where we have the decision of which Syndra are we gonna go with. Do we want the 0 head jab Syndra, or do we want the 1 cost with the 4/1 with make a fealty? I
Mhm.
think considering that that one is a rare, and it also just makes a fealty, that should have been the pick uh over the on hit. That was on hit flick, right? That was what that one was.
No, it was
No,
on
that
hit
one's
mark.
on hit mark. Yeah,
Yeah. It's tough. I think I'm a little bit more favorable to the head jab Redline Syndra.
yeah,
Um, just the more one cost you have in your deck, the easier it is to
brick.
have a really rough turn where you
Yeah,
draw too many of your red one costs
yeah,
and you lose tempo
yeah,
and often lose the game from that.
yeah,
I've had a couple drafts, online drafts, where I've played Syndra that had way too many one costs and I just run to those hands and it just loses me the game on the spot.
yeah.
So I am personally a lot more looking for the zero cost cards, and
So out
I would
of
pick the card you
these
picked
two
here.
zero
Hot on
cards,
Heels?
yeah, hot on our heels. Out of these
Yeah.
two zero cost cards, which one are you going with? Are you going with the not draconic
Oh, it's
on hit
always not
mark?
always a Draconic card,
Always the
if you ask.
draconic. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, because it's not only is it a 3 block, but it's also a Draconic card to bring your Kunais back.
yeah,
Yeah, the time to target is unconditional go again,
yeah,
but we already have one Ronin Renegade.
yeah,
We know we're in a good Cindra seat, so we're gonna have a strong Cindra deck,
yeah.
and so activating the second chain link, having this Draconic starter rather, shouldn't be that difficult for
Hmm.
our deck, considering the strength of our deck that we can expect.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad we got there on that one. But I
Mhm.
think that this like seeing this pack, I like you're going crazy. Like I'm sitting there like, yes,
Oh yeah,
let's go.
yeah.
Like,
This is
yeah.
like you're in top 8. You're feeling great, right?
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah,
I picked
yeah.
the right seat. We're doing well. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Like especially like in the top 8 draft, it's like, yes, I wanted to play Syndra. I'm glad that it's looking like this.
Yep.
And then so that was what, pick 4, 5. That was 5?
I think it was pick 5 or 6.
Oh yeah, and then we see
Ugh.
that is just like a snap take right there. I feel like that one was
I didn't
super simple. Like
I
the
didn't catch the whole pack. We saw red grow claws, and that was about the only other pick, right?
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's
red grow
yeah.
claws, but
It's just
like
blue. It's blue, right?
blue. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like that card's
Blue
just so
dragon
good.
power. Yeah, that's an easy pick for
Yeah,
me.
it's I mean it's a block 3. It's a dragon. Like it
Yep.
could be a 1 for 5 at blue. Like it's just too
Yeah.
good. Like you pitch it early, and then if you do get to fatigue, it's like this card's really great at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. And now we have like 2.5 chain enders in the form of Art of Dragonfire, Hunt the Hunter, and Blue Dragon Power.
Yep, exactly. So here we see the first pack that I'm not very happy with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'm very happy with this pack. You know why?
why?
Yellow Fire Fist.
Yellow Fire Fist. Yeah,
It's
it's a
very
0
good.
for 3. Yeah.
Very good. It's a yellow. It's a yellow 0 for 3. Not only is it a 0 for 3, but it's a breakpoint buster 0 for
Yeah.
3, where you're
Yeah.
sending 2 into 4.
Yeah. That's so true. 2
And
into 4 is really good.
it's very important that like it's really strong to have that breakpoint on your second draconic. You probably don't need to pause here, but your second draconic on hits, the ones that mark on hit, or the one I believe it's the one that it flicks a dagger on hit. And so just having that come in for 4 is is
Mm,
really strong.
yeah. No, I agree. I think that was definitely the move. Here we have a Dust Runner Outlaw. I think
Yep,
that was
easy
just
pick.
yeah, it was like the only thing in the pack that was any good.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, we did end up picking the yellow Fire Fist in the last pack, right?
no, we did not end up picking the
Oh,
yellow
we
Fire
didn't.
Fist. No, I picked the fealty creator, the 2 for 6 fealty creator.
Oh, ooh. I don't
Yeah,
know about that one. I don't know about
yeah,
that
I know, I
one.
know. No, yellow Fire
Oh
Fist, I
no.
agree with. I agree. Yeah,
Yeah. I think mostly because that is our third chain under two. Um, and we have a zero cost list so far
yeah,
outside of outside the last pack where we picked a one cost starter.
yeah,
Uh, in a blue Cindra build, I think it makes a lot more sense to have the 2 for 6.
yeah.
But we have a pretty
I
strong
think we're in the
low
0 for 3
curve.
lane right here. Yeah, and then here I have the choice between. I'm just not picking equipment right here.
I
This is kind of weird.
Yeah, I pick arms. I pick
Yeah,
arms.
yeah. I think arms is also the pick there. Looking back on it, um, I don't like the arms because I think Danger Digits is like one of the best cards in the set, and I'm just like I'm playing to my outs of Danger Digits right now.
Mhm. Yeah,
um,
but like since we know we're not gonna have a problem having a sideboard, I
yeah,
think I'm just happy to pick the arms and upgrade later if we need to.
true. Yep. And
Mostly
then
because For the Drakai isn't like a very strong
yeah, no,
card to have.
I don't think that any of those cards are very strong, but I think the arms was definitely the strongest card in that pack for me. Um, yeah. So going into the end of pack one here, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I know exactly because like we see 3 Syndra cards at the end here. um,
I mean, is blue throw yourself at them really a Cindra card?
I guess not, but it I do like that card because it does like at the end of the game, if you are like in
Yeah.
fatigue state, then it's like you pitch that early and then you can throw yourself at them at the end of the game. Here I'm like, oh,
Okay.
interesting. I guess I'll
Yeah.
take
I'd take a
I
guess.
guess I'll take one of those and then last
Yeah, the 3
pick.
block is probably the better pick there.
Yeah, I that's why I took it because it was a 3 block. And then so we can look through here, the end of pack one. So probably should have taken the chess piece on the first one, and should have taken the yellow Fire Fist. But I
Mhm.
mean, I'm sitting here. I got 3 blues, 1 yellow, and then the rest reds with a
Yeah, I
lot
do
of
think that if we had the 2 pieces of armor here, I think we have a phenomenal deck. I think we're in
yeah,
a really, really happy spot.
yeah,
But with 0 equipment, like, we have a strong deck, but we don't have the armor yet, and
yeah.
that'll get me worried.
Yeah, no, I am also a little worried at this point with like no armor, but it all comes together.
Yeah.
It ends up being beautiful. I am
Okay,
really
okay.
happy with it, but I do agree like not picking armor like that early was a little rough. Probably a mistake. Definitely the chest was a mistake. Um
Yeah,
and
the
the
arms, like, especially if you find better arms later, it's not a big deal, right?
yeah.
But it's just sometimes you just never see them. Sometimes that's the only
Yeah,
arm you'll
sometimes you don't see
ever
them, yeah.
see.
So going on to pack two, pick one. I don't really like Grow Wings very much. I don't think that that's a very good
Fine.
card. Mark with Magma, another
The
chess piece,
chest.
another blue block 3, and then we got the Danger Digits.
Oh. Oh, the Saber
Oh
Bloodshed, though.
yeah, Saber Bloodshed is so good, but it's like
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, wow, I don't know what I do here. I don't know what I do here. If we had arms already, I just hate draft the Saber Bloodshed 100% here, but
really.
we don't have the arms.
No, we don't
So we
have
don't
the
have the
arms.
arms.
Plus, I think Danger. Even if I had arms like those bad Arachne arms, I feel like I'm still picking the Danger Digits.
No, the problem is Saber Bloodshed is so strong that I think I just hate draft it
Yeah,
because if I had to play against it later, then I could just lose the game off that one card,
yeah.
right?
No, and
Um,
knowing that the person to my right here is also the Arachne, or I'm pretty
Mhm.
certain that they're Arachne.
Yeah, yeah, good idea,
Yeah,
yeah. But
but
yeah, I
yeah,
think you have to pick the arms there because you don't have arms. But I think if I already had arms, then
okay,
I would have hate drafted the
yeah.
Saber.
Now I'm chilling. I already
Is there
have
is there a
arms.
ninja card missing in this pack? Oh
It
no, there's not. No,
no,
there's
there's
not.
not. But I end up just going with this because it's a block 3 chain ender, and now I'm on my fourth chain ender,
No,
my third and a half chain ender. But
I
there's not
think
really
we have too many
anything
chain
good in this
enders.
pack.
There isn't. I would just be happy with taking a blue. I think.
Interesting.
Um, I don't know because like that's the 1 for 5 chain ender, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's on
I
hit
don't know.
mark. Yeah.
We already have 4 chain enders. not counting the Dragon Power, right?
This
Because
is
we
the
have
fourth. This is the fourth right here.
this is the fourth because
Yeah.
we have Art Dragon Fire, we have the 2 for 6, we have the one for
Oh
five,
yeah,
and we
I didn't even end up playing the 2 for 6. Like,
okay.
yeah,
So we technically had 4 at that point. This
yeah,
would be our 5th,
yeah,
but we end up sideboarding that one, which is correct because we don't want to have 5.
yeah.
But that's why I don't pick the Chain Ender there. That's why I pick a blue.
I do want to know about this chain ender though. But I mean, obviously, oh man, yeah. So I'm sitting here, I'm
Oh,
like, oh my god. So I
it's
think this
Ronin.
is the worst of the chain enders.
I think we always pick Ronin.
Yeah. So here I'm like
Yeah,
sitting here, like, oh shit. What do I pick? What do I pick? What do I pick? What do I
because
pick?
that Chain Ender you're talking about there, it's just worse than
Yeah, it's not very
most
good.
other ones.
It's the worst
Yeah,
out of all of them.
yeah. Oh, we
No.
took the boots?
Oh my god.
Oh,
I thought I
no.
took the
Oh.
Ronin there. Oh, you're so right though. Ronin is so much better. Oh man.
I will say it. We don't have a lot of equipment, so I don't hate the boot picks.
Yeah.
But Ronin is, I think, is a little too strong to pass up.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right about that.
But I will say,
I don't
if
know
we
if
don't
I
have
see
another
any more
boots pick in
boots.
this draft, I think it would have ended up being the right pick.
Yeah.
Like if we don't have another boots pick in this draft, then I would say that your boots pick is correct.
Yeah.
So, but Ronin is a very strong card to pass
Yeah.
up there.
And then here I have a 0 for 3. I think I'm pretty sure I picked the Draconic card. I remember having a foil. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the right pick here.
Yeah.
That 0 for 4 is a good card. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, especially in Blue Cindra when you're starting with a dagger a lot of turns.
Especially with Blue Cindra and having danger digits, but like
Yes, and with danger digits, exactly.
yeah.
But I think the Burning Blade Dance is a very strong card that
Yes.
forces a block, and especially if you pair it with Fire Fist, then
Yeah.
it's now coming in for 4. It eats equipment.
Yeah. And then here like I'm seeing like no Cindra cards and I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, are 2 people to my left
Ooh.
Cindra?"
So are you not? Looks like you're not really valuing the yellows very much in your Cindra deck.
Yeah, probably not enough. I think I ended up with too many blues, and I think that the like having a few more yellows instead of blues in this deck probably would have made a big change.
Yeah, because the big deal with the yellows is that you get to play them out and not be that upset about them. Because
Yeah.
a lot of them are 0 for 2s, 0 for 3s, especially the ones that have on hits, like on hit mark. It's just trading a card for a card.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And so it's doing the same thing a red one would.
Yeah.
Like if they have a 3 block and they're blocking your 3 or your red 0 for 3, but the 2 block or the yellow 0 for 2 is just as threatening, and they give a 3
Yeah.
block for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely
It's the
right.
same result, right?
Yeah.
And you get to pitch it for a lot of your stuff because a lot of times you don't need all 3 pitch from the blue.
No, usually, yeah. There's a lot of times that you don't. Like right there, I picked a yellow over a bad card, a really bad card,
Yeah.
Blessing of Vinserikai. Here, this is a blue 3 block, so I go with the blue 3 block. Yeah,
I think it's fine.
over,
Yellow
over
cut,
the yellow.
cut through, right?
Yeah, it was
the
a
yellow
cut through. Yeah.
That one is not bad though, I will say.
Mm.
It helps extend your turns because a lot of your blues are not particularly powerful. And
Yeah.
so when you double draw them, you can block with them, yeah, but you're not having a lot of strong plays.
Yeah.
When you're drawing up on your first turn.
This
if you're
pack,
going
I
second.
finally see a good Cindra pack again. Well, I guess it's a decent Cindra pack. I mean, I think this is pretty obvious. It should be the Fire Fist.
Yeah,
I think
it's
Bloodline is really bad.
Well, I'm considering that between Put in Context and Fire Fist here.
Yeah.
The main reasoning being we don't have any D reacts yet.
Yeah, and I think Put in the Context is great.
I do think we pick Fire Fist here, especially
Yeah.
because of our deck.
Yeah.
But Put in Context is a very very close second pick.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that's what I ended up going between right there anyway.
Yeah.
This is another just pretty weak pack. I'm thinking that there's 2 Cindras to my left here because like all these packs are pretty weak. I really don't like Grow Wings, but I think it's the pick here over the blue block 3. I mean, I have enough blues.
No, I picked the D react here.
That's an
I
attack
picked the
react.
D-react. No, the D react at the very end of the pack here.
Oh,
the layer of
really?
the spider.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, you're picking the D
Yeah,
react.
I picked that one. Not only is it a marking D react
Yeah.
that is most often online, but it is your first D react.
Yeah.
D reacts are very strong against the other 2 heroes.
Okay.
Not the Syndrome here.
Okay.
Right? Because against Fang, especially on turn 0, if they're going first, you get to protect yourself against their pumps. You get to like block like 4 or 5 on the first swing. If they try to double pump it over, you get to D-react it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just good to have turn 0. And you just get to get your free mark. And a lot of times the fealty on hit matters in Cindra. Like, you need those fealties.
Yes, 100%.
So the mark is worth a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I think you want between 2 and 3 D reacts.
Really, even in a Cindra deck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that we
I
talked
think
about it because I
outside of the mirror,
did
the mirror
not.
is probably
Yeah.
the only matchup you don't want D reacts in.
Okay. I didn't even consider it. I looked at it and I was like, I don't really like. I didn't really like D reacts. But I
No,
mean,
yeah,
I
because
guess
like
it is a 0 for 3 mark.
it's innocuous on the surface, right? Because you're like, oh, this isn't, making more draconic chain links and this
Yes.
the other on the surface, but in reality, it is because it's marking them, which is going to give you a fealty eventually, which is going to let you turn on your Art of Dragonfire, which
Okay.
is +2 damage, so it's a 0
Okay.
for 5 in that case.
Interesting
Or
way
it's
of
gonna
thinking about it.
Yeah, or it's going to let you maybe turn one of your non-draconic starters into a draconic starter, which will fix a hand, which
Yeah.
is worth a lot. It's worth a whole card instead of having to pitch to Kunai. You can then start with a now draconic card.
Yeah.
Uh, so the D reacts, I think, especially the marking D reacts like Smoke Out and Lair of the Spider, are actually pretty strong in Cindra.
Yeah.
Here's tough. I'd
Fist.
probably pick the blue, but the yellow Poison Blade is a close
The
second.
poison
Actually.
blade is. Yeah, I agree. I think the poison blade is great. It's good late
Mostly because
game.
we have Danger Jujutsu. Because we
Yes.
have the Danger Jujutsu,
Yeah.
then it makes it
And
better.
then here I'm just gonna take the blue Black Widow, so that I
Yep.
don't see it later. Being pretty sure that the person to my right is on Arachne, I'll just take the Arachne card.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so into 2 packs. Made a couple mistakes.
What
But
our pitch curve is like now.
I think it's ending up pretty good here.
No, yeah, we still have a very strong deck.
Yeah.
The
So many
so we have
blues. So many blues.
is it 6 blues?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blues.
Oh,
In the
8
yeah,
blues.
8
Wow.
blues in the first 2 packs. Like that's too many blues in the first 2 packs. Like that's how many blues I want in the whole deck, basically.
Yeah. I think that our deck is fine. I do
Yeah.
think that it could have been a bit stronger if
Yeah.
we had the Ronin Renegade. If we had the Lair of the Spider. I think we actually passed up on 2D reacts. I think there's another Lair of the Spider we passed up on at one point, but we
Yeah.
picked a good card for it, so it was fine. And then that yellow Fire Fist over the Chain Ender.
Yeah.
Is it Pursue to the Edge? No, it's something of the Pits, maybe.
Yeah,
1 for 5 on
the 1
mark.
for 5 on hit mark, the generic one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
agree.
if we had some of those changes, and this would be, and the equipment from the first pack, I think this would be an easy 3-0 Cinder deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I think that it still is 3-0able. Like I still think that this
Oh no,
deck
definitely.
I still think this deck is really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least getting the first win, cuz we looked at each other's decks. Tanner is right above my hands right now, and he's the other Cindra,
Right.
and I play him round 1. And we looked at each other's decks after. I was like, wow. Both of us were like, wow, your deck is so much better. Cuz he started off, he like pivoted to Cindra like late too, so
Oh really?
yeah. And then there's the last oh, okay.
Okay.
How do you feel about this card in draft?
I like it. It's definitely not as good as you would initially think.
Yeah.
Like when you first start drafting the set and you play with it. If when you first draft it, you think it's a bomb, and like it's strong, but it's not necessarily a bomb, right?
Yeah.
I think here I probably pick it. Oh, do I pick up the chest piece here? Actually,
That's
we don't have a
yeah.
chest piece, right?
We don't have a
What do we have?
chest.
We have boots and arms.
We have
And that's it.
Yep, just boots and arms right now.
I don't know. I might pick the chest piece there. I think I picked the chest piece there actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was. Yep, I passed the wrong side. Whoops. Yeah, I agree. I was like really excruciating which one I would pick.
That's tough. I think I picked the chest piece.
Yeah, I knew I was getting filmed, and I was like, oh my god, am I gonna pick the wrong thing on film right now? Is the Wrath that good? Oh, there's another layer of the spider, but I feel like there's some better cards
there a
in
layer?
here. I believe
Wait.
there was.
I thought it was the other one. I thought it was the one we couldn't play. Am I crazy?
Oh yeah, it's the one we can't play.
Oh, it is Scuttle. It's
yeah, Scuttle. Yeah, I thought that was layer. My bad.
There you go.
Here, I mean, another blue block. I have enough blues. Like,
You have enough
I
blues.
don't even need to like, and I have enough chain enders. Like there's only one pick there, and it's
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think that's the pack. That's the
Yeah,
only pick there.
like maybe if I don't have any chain enders, I can go with the sound the alarm. If I don't have
Mm.
enough blues, I can go with the blue. But like right there, I have chain enders. I
Yeah,
have blues.
I think if we were in blue Cindra and we didn't have a ton of chain enders, I'd go with sound the alarm.
Yeah.
But ooh, blue D-React.
Oh
Ooh.
yeah.
I mean, we
I
just
feel
picked
like
Blaze Headlong
yeah,
there.
this one's easy. Uh, just
It's tough. Like those two are both strong, but I think it's just got to be Blaze Headlong.
yeah, I think Blaze Headlong is just too strong
Yeah.
there. Both of them are very good, and I'm probably I like know I'm not gonna wheel that, so sad about it, but
Yeah, it's sad. You're just never gonna wheel either of them.
yeah, no way, no way.
It is tough. Like I do think if Blaze Headlong wasn't in the pack and it was between Burning Blade Dance and another head jab, I would probably pick the put in context.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that a red dragon power?
Yes, it was. This pack was pretty good
Oh,
too. Yeah. So looking at this pack, I'm like, dang,
oh, that's
this
tough.
yeah, this pack's
I
pretty
think we
good.
actually don't take it. I think we actually don't take the red dragon power.
Really?
Yeah. Um, I don't know that we will have enough fealty to turn on all of our
So you're
Draconic
saying
Chain
you
Enders.
want to pick the which one do you want to pick over it?
Well, since we have what 8 blues
Yeah, we
and
have
2
8
yellows.
blues.
Maybe we don't pick the Dust Runner Outlaw.
I
It
mean,
might
Dust
still be.
Runner's good, but
It
yeah,
might still be. It might still be uh, dragon power there. That is tough. I think I actually probably do pick Dust Runner Outlaw, but it's close. The
okay.
main reason I'm not as happy with dragon power is not only is it our 6th chain ender in our draft
Yes.
now, but it's our second card that really needs a fealty to shine.
Yep.
It is still a 1 for 5 chain ender, but it's not stronger than our other 1 for 5 chain enders.
Yeah.
And we you don't always get the fealty in
Yeah.
Cindra. There's a lot of decks that will block out your marking cards, and you don't have any automatic fealty generation, nor do
Okay.
you have the traps that mark that make it awkward for them to stop all of the hits to
Yeah.
stop you from getting fealty. If we had 2 marking traps, I would take the dragon power. But
Interesting. Okay.
as is, I think that we don't have quite enough guaranteed fealty generation
Mm.
to support both Are the Dragonfire and Dragon Power.
Okay.
I think, and there's a lot of factors, right? It's that, and it's the fact that it's our 6th chain ender. Um, that I think that I end up going for Dust Runner Outlaw over
Interesting.
that.
Okay. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that, and I can agree with that at the end of the day. And then we've got this pack here. We've got, I mean, this is a pretty good pack. We've got a Grow Claws, a Fire Tenant, and a pick up the point. Pick up the point's like decent, but yeah, Grow Claws and
Do
Fire
you,
Strike Fist.
do you value pick up the point that highly? I don't.
No, not really. I mean, it's just like the
Okay.
only other playable card in this pack.
Yeah. Yeah. It's Fire Tenant here, but
Yeah.
it could be Grow Claws if we didn't have a lot of 1 cost cards already.
Yeah.
But I think we already have a decent number of 1 costs, right?
Yes.
And ideally we play as few of them as possible.
Yeah.
Dust Runner Outlaw being an exception because it's a Draconic
It's a
starter.
starter, yeah. Because it's the same thing as a kunai, but it does 4 damage. And then here I'm just like, oh my god, I have too many blues. I'm just like looking at this, I'm like, oh my god, I have so many blues now. And then
Yeah,
I point at that one, it blocks for 3. That's
honestly.
why I picked it.
I don't mind it, especially because we, like you just mentioned, you have so many blues that having the duplicates block 3 is a big deal.
Yeah. And
So I think
I
I like
do
that
end
pick
up
there.
cutting a few blues out of the end of this deck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far, we're feeling okay. We're feeling okay.
Yeah.
Lots of assassin
Lots
cards.
of assassin
Lots
cards.
of
Oh, that's
assassin
right, 'cause
cards.
there
Oh,
ended up
you
being only
flipped
2
out.
assassins.
Yeah, because you flipped out of assassin here.
Yeah. So only 2 assassins in the pod, so this makes sense.
Yeah, I pointed. Why are there so many assassin cards? What is going on here? I was like, oh, I thought I knew
Right.
exactly what was going on, and now it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I do think that like I was actually supposed to be in an assassin seat, which is funny to say coming from the person who 3-0'd the pod on Fang, but I do think I was supposed to be on Arachne. And then I've been the 3rd assassin.
Oh,
Can't see the pitch colors
Yeah,
there.
kind of oh, got a bad
Probably the silver. Well, no, the silver talons is a chain ender, so we don't want that. It's a blue silver
yeah,
talons though, so it blocks
it
3.
blocks
Oh, do we
3.
have a helmet?
We do not have a helmet yet.
Oh, it's helmet. It's helmet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, I kind of forgot that we didn't have a helmet yet.
Yeah, we
But
don't
yeah,
have a
so
helmet. So now we're only missing chest.
yeah. Curious if we end up getting a chest.
Curious, are
Oh,
you?
he's good.
Curious, are you? Easy
We get
wheel
the
right there.
chest.
Easy wheel on the chest piece.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
whenever
so
I
we
saw
fill
that,
out
I was
our
pretty
armor.
hyped.
That's
Yep,
good.
so we
That's
filled out
good.
armor. Our deck is looking decent. There's definitely a few picks that like I should have gone with a red over a blue or maybe something different. Here we're just kind of like looking at the end. I mean, yellow tag the target's like the best card in this pack for us.
Yeah, I think that our decks does support yellows as our pitch curve
Yes.
pretty well. So we would like to run yellows over blues most of the time.
Yeah.
Here's probably tag. It still could be poison
I
blade.
went with the poison blade. Oh no, I go with the tag here.
Yeah, I think either one is fine.
Yeah.
Poison blade is interesting because you can turn your 1 unpreventable to 2 unpreventable at the end of the
Yeah.
game.
I just wanted some more
Uh,
ways to possibly like tag them, get a mark on them or something. Just pick the
Actually,
better
yellow's
card
up
there.
there.
Really?
Because we need the fealty, right? And
Yeah.
so it just allows you to have your turn 0 free mark.
Yeah.
Is the
Well,
yellow.
I didn't think I was gonna play either of those cards, so I was like, I'll take the red from
Gotcha.
what
Yeah,
I
no, but
imagine is
like
a
especially
thing.
because of our curve, we know that yellows fit our curve perfectly fine. We're most often not going to use that third
Yeah.
resource off the blue, so we want to convert most of our blues to yellows as
Yeah.
possible. Um, it's a chain ender if it needs to be. Like if you just have a really rough hand, it can still be a 1 for 4 chain ender.
Yeah.
Or your early game, either your opponent's turn 0 or on your first turn, you can discard it to mark. Because like if you're going first, then it's a free mark, and that's a
Yeah.
huge deal, right? Especially with how much fealty we need to really turn on the power of our deck.
Okay. Yeah, at the end of the day, I really think that that yellow fire tenant I didn't think about would probably be better. I didn't realize like that you're kind of valuing the over 3 D reacts for Cindra.
Yeah, I think they're very strong.
Hmm.
For like the reasons I mentioned about making the guaranteed marking. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if you've ever played as Cindra into a deck that blocks you out a bit on your marks cards, and you're just like you're riding with an Art of Dragon Fire and Arsenal, and you just can't get a fealty to save your life.
Yep, that was my
Maybe you've
round
never run into that
6.
situation.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. So having that guaranteed mark is really nice.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think that the deck ended up being, decent. Like it definitely could have won round 1. Like I believe that it could have 3-0'd. It's probably not the best that the deck could have been, but well, I know it's not the best that the deck could have been, but it still was like able to win that pot, I feel like. And
Yeah.
definitely at least, getting me the invite. Like because like I said, Tanner and I looked at each other's decks after, and we were like, "Wow, yours what ended up being a lot better than his."
Mm. So you each thought each other's deck was better than your own
No, no,
deck.
no. We both thought that my
Oh,
deck was better. Both of us thought that,
oh.
yeah,
I see. Yeah,
yeah. Because he was playing some pretty suspect cards. Not gonna lie. Um,
Yeah, especially when you're the third Cindra, and I think he was in the
yeah,
worst seat, right?
yeah.
Because
He
the other
was.
Cindra was to your left,
Yeah, two
two
to my
seats to the left.
left. Yeah,
So yeah, he probably had to have a lot of the dual class ones, like throw
yeah,
yourself out them to the point, right?
yeah,
Um, yeah. So no, but I think your deck is still very playable, like a very good deck. It's easily a 2-1 deck.
yeah,
I think that it would be a 3-0 deck if it had a couple of those swaps in there and a
yeah,
little less of the chain under flood, which it sounds like that might have put you into some trouble in your first game. You might have
yeah,
had too many chain unders. And you mentioned not having that chess piece to do the 1 card 5
yeah.
that one turn. So yeah, I mean, but how many drafts have you had you done up until this point?
How many drafts had I done? I
Yeah.
did 2 pre-releases and then the 2 before this. And then I did one the day
That's it.
before. I did, let's see, the 2 pre-releases and then 4 drafts. So I did the 2 before this and then 2 a day before and 2 days before, one each.
Yeah. So
So this was
for
my
not having that
5th
many.
draft.
Yeah, so exactly. For not having that many drafts under your belt, you picked a lot of the right cards.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, it's just it's after a lot of games that you run into the situations, and then you realize the value of some of these cards, right?
Yeah, like
So
that yellow fire tenant, and just like kind of picking some reds over the yellows, and then just like that chess piece, man. That first chess piece pick was like,
the
it was right
first
there.
and second. I mean, you can't pick the second
The
there. You got to pick
second,
the
the
run.
second. Well, I kind of I like the Ronin, but yeah, picking the first one was definitely a mistake on not going for that one. But yeah, it was really fun. It ended up being a pretty good draft, pretty good night. And
Yeah,
yeah, I was pretty satisfied with like how I drafted all three times. I feel like my deck got better every single draft, which was
yeah,
like
that's big.
definitely where I wanted to be.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, this is a very strong Cindra deck, right? Like you found your seat very quickly too,
Yeah.
and you stayed open early, which is good. Like it's funny because it would have been the wrong pick. Your pack one pick two, I think it was. There was a Cindra card that I suggested picking because of your influence, but I think your blue block three was actually the correct pick, just to stay open, make sure
Yeah.
that you're in the right seat. I think that was like a very heads up play as well.
Yeah, I was trying to
The
do it
early
as
picks
if I
matter.
didn't know that I was gonna be Cindra, but it it ended up being kind
Yeah,
of
I mean, you
obvious.
have to, right? Because
Yeah,
it's not guaranteed.
yeah,
Like you have to stay open. It's very easy to get train wrecked if the person to your right next to you, to your right, is the same hero as you.
yeah,
Like it's very easy just to ruin your draft that way, right?
yeah,
And so staying open is very important in every draft, but especially this one.
yeah. Yeah, well, thank you very much for the tips and tricks on this draft. I was really
Yeah.
looking forward to like going back and reviewing this with you and seeing like just picking up some of those things like the D React idea and kind of the like yellow fire tenant as well idea. Like, I mean, two and then four is just so good. Like, I know that in draft there are a lot of two blocks, but like it's still kind of annoying if they have a bunch of if it's Arachne and they have a bunch of three blocks in hand. It's like,
Mhm.
ah, am I gonna block this
Yeah, it's like how do you
two?
really push through, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. So, yeah, no, and like I this is amazing footage too. Like kudos to getting this recorded because
Yeah,
this is a really cool setup that you had here.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Planning on if we had some more draft events, then I would totally do it. But
Right?
I'm
Oh
so
man,
sad,
I wish
dude.
there was another draft RTN. I would
I
go and
know.
just concede top eight. Like I
Oh
don't need the
man,
invite. I just want to go and draft.
I would be so happy to play against the top eight.
Yeah.
I would be like, please put
Right.
me against Cody. Please put me eighth so that I can play against Cody.
Oh, my free win. My free invite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I would just have so much fun just drafting the top eight pod just to know I'm conceding the first round anyway. Like I just want to draft.
yeah,
I love draft. It's so
yeah, me
fun.
too. Me too.
So, yeah.
But yeah, so we'll probably get some more stuff. Cody, is there any like anything that you want to plug at here at the end?
Yeah, actually, thank you for letting me. I started a new podcast recently with another Denver local. It's called Breaking the Chain Podcast. We released our second episode this just past week, and we're still going strong. Uh, so catch us at Breaking the Chain on YouTube and on Spotify. And I'm also on that podcast is on Blue Sky, Breaking the Chain Podcast at B Sky Social,
Awesome.
and I'm on Blue Sky as well, Codeman Jack
Cool.
at B or codemanjack.bsky.social, I believe is what it is. But anyway, yeah, I'm on Blue Sky. I have a podcast that's on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, perfect. I will put all those down in the description below, and hopefully I'll have like the deck list down at the bottom. I'm gonna try to edit that. That'll make it all
Oh, like
come
this Cindra
together.
deck list?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then just see what it looks like. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching this far into it. You know, leave a like and subscribe, and go over to Breaking the Chain podcast and leave a like and subscribe over there as well. Thank you all.